Hey guys, Scarlet Darkwood here. Hope everyone's had a great week. Today I want to talk about book translation. Should you get your books translated? If you're an author, you've probably heard that, oh, you should get your book in all kinds of languages and get it out there to the market and have all kinds of readers from every country and all kinds of things like that. You might want to think about that before you spend time and energy translating a book from your native language to something else. Yes, it's true. If you can do that, it does open up potential markets. There are plenty of Latin American readers who would really like to read something written in their own language, that is, if they don't speak English very well or read it well. So that part's true. It does open up languages, and you can get your book translated into all kinds of languages. You can pay a translator, or you can go through Babbel, I think it is, though there are some pros and cons about that as well, but you may want to check it out. The thing about translating a book is that it's very expensive. For example, a translator can make $20 to $25 plus per page. If you have a full-length novel that's around 93,000 words, that can cost $6,000 to translate. That is a lot of money that most authors will never see back. And you have to decide if it's worth it to you. If you are fluent in Spanish and you speak both English and Spanish and you want to tackle translating your own book, you might fare better at it. For somebody like me who knows some Spanish, for me to sit down and translate my books into that language would be pretty daunting for me. So to pay $6,000 though is not a choice I want to make. I did, however, translate a short story into Spanish, and the book is The Enchanting Hideaway. And I'll put a cover and a link to the Spanish version. The only reason I decided to tackle the short story was, number one, it was short. Number two, I was able to do it in a set of Spanish lessons. I was taking Spanish classes with a very nice lady in South America through the program italki.com. And she had done translating before in her experiences. She was a certified teacher, so we did it as a project. So it was a way for me to learn words, learn some speaking, and translate a story. The problem is it hasn't sold any copies. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie and fill you full of smoke thinking I've sold tons of copies of that book. And I'll get into it in just a minute why that may not be. So let's go back to translation and translators. Why does it cost so much? Why is that so expensive? Well, the translator has to read what you've written, and they have to be able to convey that idea adequately in their own language. That takes some thought into doing that. You know, it's not like they're translating something roughly on site from one person to another when they're doing it maybe for a meeting or between two people. They're looking at a book and they are wanting to translate that book adequately and beautifully in their own language so the readers will enjoy it. And that can take time. They're basically writing a book, but with guidance. And authors know how long it takes to write a book. You can just imagine somebody trying to take it and translate it. So I kind of understand the cost. I don't like the cost, but I get it. If you decide you want to translate a story just on a lark, you could start with a short story, and this is where I get to mine. I did it for two things. They're short. I did it because I had Spanish class lessons. If you don't, you might decide if you want to pay $1,000 to get a short story done. The problem I'm seeing is that, number one, your biggest reader market that I find are Australians, Canadians, and Americans. Not saying there's not Latinos who don't read. It's just they tend to buy books in bookstores in their own country, or they just don't read. They are not into reading. A lot of the population may not be able to afford the books. They may not have access to libraries like we do here in the United States, and so they're not avid readers. And if any of you know any differently or want to comment below and share some insight on that, please do. So that may be a problem. The other thing too is they don't want to pay $1 for a novel. $1 for a short story. They want a novel. They want a full book. And now a short story is a full story. Has a beginning, middle, and an end. But still, they see more of the value in the novel. So you may not sell anything. So I would probably say, unless you're selling tons of books in your own language, I probably would not venture into translating a book. Somebody like Vi Keeland and Penelope Ward, who write adult romance, and they are selling audiobooks and tons of books. They make money, and so they have their books translated in all kinds of languages. They probably should. They have hit on a market and a subject matter that readers want to read, and they can also get audiobooks not only in English, they can pay a Spanish narrator to narrate them too. So unless you've already gotten into a lucrative market with your work and you're really taking off, I would hold off on the translating. That's just my advice. And tell me your experiences. I would love to hear it. And that's all I have to say on the book translation. Happy writing, happy reading.